Hello, my name is Elizabeth and I am the lady with the spicy books. And this is our first date book tag. One Star Reads tagged me on Twitter saying this. My reply was this. And obviously, here's the video. There are 10 questions in this tag, and I'm gonna leave the questions on text on screen so you can understand what I'm talking about. The awkward first date. Oh, I remember this book. I know I have it in storage. Is a hard copy. Wait. It's here actually. So I present you The Awkward First Date. Yes, this book. I remember when I got it. It was just going to release, and I asked my aunt from the US to buy this for me, and I was going to repay her, and she said, "No, I'm sending it as a birthday gift." Got it, read it. It was not what I was expecting of a J.R. Ward book. I think this book marked the difference for me from the first books in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series to the last one. The cheap first date. I have 3 books in this category, in this question, because this is a way to show you what makes the difference. The first one is Turned into a Bimbo by Ava Sterling. I have followed her and I have read and reviewed her books for quite a while, and this book was just not for me. I know there are people that loved it, but for me, it gave a twist to the bimbo story that I just didn't like it. And I told her as much, and she said, "That's fine. People can have their own opinions." So yeah. The other book in this is Rock Chick by Kristen Ashley. And let me tell you, it was a shock because I have read Kristen Ashley's books for a while also. And people kept saying to me, "Read Rock Chick. Read Rock Chick is amazing." And I read it and it was not so much. I like the story, I like the characters, but it didn't live up to the hype of my friends. So the last one, Seal's Oath by Cora Seaton. I have read almost every Cora Seaton book there is. I love her stories, but this book was the first book on a new series a couple of months back, and the thing that made this book not as enjoyable was the fact that I already know Cora Seaton's structure because I read her book so much. So I was able to predict 80% of the book, and that took from my enjoyment. So this little thing show you that books can turn least of what you were expecting for very different reasons, and not every book is the same. Duh. Well Prepared First Date. This is a book that I'm currently reading. It's The Magicians by Lev Grossman, and I am body reading this book with 2 girls here on YouTube, and I'm excited for what's gonna happen when we finish this book. But I was pleasantly surprised because this is not a book that falls into my normal genre, normal reading grounds. Like, it's not a romance, and I was like, oh, this is gonna drag, but no. First chapter, I was so hooked. Oh my god, I had to put the brakes on because I had other books that I needed to read for reviews, but I am reading this book pretty fast. I know myself, and as much as I love this book, I'm able to read it. If I actually sat down to only read this book, I'll read it in a day or maybe two if I have too many things distracting me. But if I only focus on reading this, The Magicians, I would have been done with it already. Hot but dumb. I don't like calling a book dumb, but this book, it's one of my few 2 stars. I try not to give lower than 3 stars because I usually pick books that I know I'm going to enjoy. Maybe I'm not going to love it, but I'm going to enjoy reading it. So this is one of the rare 2 stars and is Toy. This book was frustrating to read. And if you want to know why, I'll leave you the link to my Goodreads review because seriously, I was expecting more from this author. Blind Date. I have 2 books here. The first one is Russian Tattoo Obsession by Kat Shiata. Oh my god. This book left me on a reading slump in shock for weeks. I'm serious. It's the first book in a trilogy. I own all the books. I have not read the last 2 books because I am too freaking scared to read them. It's dark romance, and if I thought T.M. Fraser, the author of King, was a whole no barrels chick, oh my god, Kachiata just, I think they are nose to nose in this. The other book was a new author to me at the time, Krista Wolf. Since then, she's a one-click author because I love her books, and I'm going to put the cover here because if I try to say the name of this book, I'm going to butcher it, and I don't want to butcher it. It was a 5-star book, and oh my god, I only read the blurb. I got it as an ARC, and I remember I got it 2 weeks before I read it, so when I read it, I remember it was something about ghosts and a mansion, but wow. When I read the book, I was so happy, so freaking happy that I read the book. Speed dating. I have a lot of authors that I speed date through their books, but some that I have just recently read is Reindeer Games by C.J. Hunt and Marriage Material by Alex O'Reilly. I think that's the name of the book. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave the covers here. But those authors, along with Harmony Reigns and others, they are my go-to when I have a moment of time that I know that I want to read something, but I want it to read fast and I don't want to be disappointed. And I 90% of the time not disappointed when I read these authors. So I just go, grab it, sit down, an hour and a half later, I'm done. And I enjoy myself. I had a good time. I feel good. I feel those lovey vibes and I'm done. The Rebound. This was difficult and I'm still not sure if this book fits, but I'll say Triple Thought by Daphne Dunn. I read it a couple of months back, but I remember I was in a reading slump and I'm an emotional reader, so when I had to read this book, I actually didn't want to. I knew the author, I have read her books before, and I knew I liked the way she wrote, but I was just not feeling it, and I read it anyways. And I remember it went all to hell, because I read it, I liked it, I review it, and then Amazon didn't show the review, and I was really upset because there was nothing wrong with the review and there was no curse words, there were nothing there, and I had to contact Amazon and all that blah blah blah. So I do remember this book. Overly Enthusiastic Date, a book that tried too hard. 4 Reasons to Come. This book was good. I liked it. I enjoy it. I review it. But I think it fits. The Perfect First Date. When I got to this question, one book just popped into my head, and that's For Real by Alexis Hall. Oh God, since I read the book, I'm obsessed with it. I have it on Kindle and I have it on audiobook version. It's just fantastic. I loved it. I adored it. I still read some parts of it. So the other book in this category is 8 Goodbyes. And this is a more recent book, and you're gonna hear me talk about it because I was really shocked when I read it. I was not expecting to love it so much, but oh my God, the story was so beautiful. These 2 books have 5 out of 5 stars. So if you want to go and check them out, For Real is an MM romance and 8 Goodbyes is an MF romance. Humiliating First Date. Thinking about this book just makes me mad. Seriously. I remember Neanderthal, the trilogy, and I was the only one that actually enjoyed the last book from my reading group. And this book is the next one, and it's about the older brother, and I was crushing on him badly, and the book was horrible. There's no other way. Now that I have learned more about the process, I'll say Marie Ferré was pressured to deliver this book on time, and she was self-publishing, so she put the rough draft on Kindle, and it was horrible. I forced myself to read 50% of the book. I turned it off, turned away, and didn't touch that book for a year. After a year, I forced myself to reread the first 50% and finish the book. And yes, I forced myself to do it. I'll say there are many points in favor of the plot and the characters and the idea of the author, but it was so poorly executed at the time that I was so disappointed, and I was thinking maybe someone else wrote this book, because this doesn't sound like the Marie Ferré that I remembered from Neanderthal. So I was like, something is wrong here. So this is my first date book tag, and thank you so much for tagging me to 1-star reads. I don't have many booktuber friends yet, so if you wanna do this tag, consider yourself tagged, okay? Let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of the books I mentioned. Leave me any recommendations. If you have done this on your channel, or you are doing this video, or you have a booktube channel, leave it in the comments down below. I'll go check it out because I want to make friends. I want to talk about books. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do so by clicking the red subscribe button and give it a like, or 2 likes is possible. No, just 1. Okay, 1. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.